Hey, 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 how are you doing, everyone? Live. Not done a live for ages, actually. This is all about how to find the best deals on pallets of cheap goods. And here's the thing, a lot of people are struggling to find products at the right price to resell online. And you might be someone that retails stuff online. You might be someone that maybe just wants to buy and flip pallets on to make some profit. But here's the thing: there's reasons behind how you can find cheap goods to resell online, and I'm not talking about just like importing goods from China or buying some products from your local wholesaler. There's a lot of different ways of just buying regular goods, but here's the issue that everyone is facing right now selling online. Um, the competition on people selling the same products is growing all the time. And a lot of online sellers now are having to deal with the Chinese guys bringing in stock into the UK and selling goods way cheaper. It's very, very difficult buying products to sell online when you're not going to be the cheapest and there's too much competition, and people end up buying stock and storing it in a warehouse or a self-storage unit, or even storing goods at home in the garage, buying stock, and end up basically not being able to sell many of them, because there's just too many people selling the same product online, or there's people selling that product way cheaper on other platforms. And so what happens is you can end up losing money. You can end up being sitting on stock that you're stuck with, all right, and you can end up with money tied up in stock that you can't get rid of. So what I'm going to teach you today is basically this is something that I've spent over 30 years doing, guys. I've spent over 3 decades sourcing and buying cheap pallets of goods, all right, that no one else has. And that's the secret part of this, all right. What I'm going to teach you is these deals that you can find online, these cheap best deals on pallets of cheap goods you can find online, are deals that you will access, that are one-off deals. All right, the one-off deals. They're not regular products that you can just import from the factories in China. These are not regular products that you can just go drive down to your local wholesalers or drive to Manchester or London to wholesalers and buy products to resell. These are one-off clearance deals. All right, these are surplus goods that businesses like literally are desperate to get rid of. It's pallets of stock. Imagine this, right? There's a business, they're doing okay, and they're selling a range of products, or maybe they're selling one product, all right, but they've all got one thing in common. They're all holding stock in a warehouse. They're all sitting on pallets of stock in their warehouse or storage, or a third party warehouse. Okay, so basically, these businesses have a lot of problems through the year. They've got problems with their stock. And what I'm going to teach you is basically how to find these deals, on highly discounted pallets of goods. If you want to, if you want to sell online, if you've got your own website, or if you want to sell like stuff on Amazon or eBay and, make money on them, but buy them at highly discounted prices. All right, I'm going to show you how this is done. But I want your mindset to be, it's not about where you find these goods, all right, because where you find these goods can be like many different places. It's the more about the reasons behind how you can find these cheap discounted deals. Okay, there's kind of a psychology behind finding the best deals on highly discounted pallets of goods. All right, there's a lot of ways that you can um, find pallets of goods, but this is the reasoning behind um, why you can find these deals, all right, at highly discounted prices. It's more about that. It's about why you can access cheap pallets of goods at highly discounted prices that you can buy for like pennies in the pound. All right. So each day here in my office, in my business, I get presented with offers of pallets of goods from companies. All right. I'm getting offered various deals from different companies through email, through WhatsApp, through, LinkedIn Messenger, through various online communication. All right. I get presented with these offers on these stocks. And so what happens is when I receive these offers and I look at the details on that stock, I'm going to be looking for specific reasons why I might be able to get my hands on that stock at pennies in the pound. All right. And there might be reasons as well why I can't get that stock for cheap. All right. Because here's the thing, when companies have stock in their warehouse that they want to get rid of, all right, now they might be basically the type of business that they're not really desperate to get rid of that stock. They're kind of testing the market. All right. So what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you some 5 reasons why you're able to access cheap pallets of goods, for pennies in the pound, and how you can actually find these best deals, and the things that you need to look out for if you are approaching a business to get your hands on like some highly discounted stock that they want to get rid of. Because here's the thing, we're in the business of buying one-off clearance deals. These are one-off surplus deals that businesses have got in their warehouse that they simply want to get rid of. All right, they just want to get rid of. By the way, if you see me looking at different angles, it's because I'm going live on YouTube and I'm here live on TikTok as well. I'm live on both, which is so cool that you can actually do that. So I'm live on YouTube, I'm live on TikTok with my phone, live on YouTube with my screen. So the first thing to look out for when you are trying to get your hands on some cheap goods, if you're looking for a cheap deal that you want to get your hands on, that you can resell online or just literally flip that deal straight on. First thing to look out for is how motivated is that seller? Are they motivated to get rid of that stock? And like, I'm going to tell you how you would know if there's a seller of some goods that just want rid of that stock. Like they literally just want it gone. All right. It's unwanted. It's unused stock sitting in their warehouse, giving them a headache, and, causing them problems. They want that stock gone. All right. That is a motivated seller. So how do you know a motivated seller? So number one is that you would know a motivated seller by asking them, like, how long have you been sitting on that stock? They might have been sat on it for a long time. And here's the thing with companies that are sitting on stock, that stock has to come in and go out. It has to rotate. So when companies import goods and then bring them into a warehouse, those goods have to rotate. The goods have to come in and go out, come in, go out, come in, go out. If they're not coming in and going out, there's something wrong with that stock. There's a reason why it's not going out. Okay. It could be slow moving stock. They might have just imported too many of that stock. It might not be selling as well as expected. All right. Few different reasons. All right. So how long have they been sat on that stock? They might be thinking to themselves, shit, we've been sitting on that stock for, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, or even a year. We need to we need to get rid of that stock. It's sat there gathering dust, going nowhere. We need to do something with that stock. So that's the thing with sitting on stock. It's basically depreciating, meaning the value of that stock is going down in value. All right. So that's number two. People sitting on stock in their warehouse that's just not going anywhere and sat there, it's going down in value. It's never going to go up in value. It's only ever going to go down in value. So it's depreciating. And that's not a good thing. If you're a business and you're sitting on stock that's actually depreciating in value, that means that the original money that you invested in those pallets of goods is now worth a lot less. So you're now in a position where you are losing money on that stock because it's sat there going nowhere. All right. Secondly, thirdly, it's costing you money in storage. All right. It's sat there in a warehouse that, unless you're storing it all at home, which most companies are not, you're going to be paying a storage fee on those goods, a monthly storage fee. Like, monthly storage fees are not cheap. All right. Especially if you're sitting on a lot of pallets of stock, that becomes a big monthly expense for a business. It becomes a big outgoing. For some companies, it can be their biggest overhead. If you've got like several hundred pallets sat in a storage, you're going to be paying a lot of storage costs on that, and it's each month as well. It's every month. It's like paying a wage, paying a salary, which is crazy. So, 2 1 2. Yeah, just checking if this microphone is actually working. Hope it is. Not getting much signal on the screen, but yeah, hopefully it's working. So yeah, another thing as well is that they might just want to. There might be a business that just actually wants to get out of that storage facility. They might want out of that warehouse. They're looking to move out. That could be a business that's just like finishing, like going bankrupt or falling into liquidation or something, and they just want out of that warehouse. They might be literally wanting to move into a smaller storage, something like that. They might have found somewhere cheaper, so they want to move the stock into somewhere else. But at the end of the day, it's costing them money in storage, whilst they're sitting on stock that is costing them money because the stock is going down in value and it's been sat there too long. That is what a motivated seller is. A motivated seller is someone that wants that stock gone. Okay, they just want rid of that stock. Okay, so let's move on to number two, which is a very big reason why you can find these like great deals on pallets of cheap goods, and that is because the seller has a cash flow problem. All right. There's a lot of companies who are sitting on pallets of stock in a warehouse, and it's not so great for that company. They actually are a struggling business. So they have cash flow problems. And that is like a major problem right now with businesses. A lot of businesses, they might be sitting on stock, pallets of stock in a warehouse, but they actually have cash flow problems. They're struggling with cash flow. And as you know, cash flow is king. All right. If you don't have cash flow, then your business is not going to last 2 minutes. It's not going to last long. So a business has to have cash flow coming in each month. If that business is struggling with cash flow, what they're going to do is they are going to look at the stock they've got in their warehouse and they are going to make a decision. Let's get rid of that stock. We're going to free up some cash. Okay, so that's kind of one of the first things that a business will do to get the hands on some cash, unless they've got like a facility with the bank, an overdraft facility. But they might be like reaching the maximum. They might be maxing out on their overdraft facility. Businesses are struggling, okay, with cash flow. Lots and lots of businesses. That could be an online retailer. Many of them are struggling with cash flow. I get offered lots of surplus goods from online retailers every week because they need the cash. They are struggling. It might be that they're just literally, I might get companies saying to me, I've got a container load of some stock coming in a week. And I need the space. So I'll go on to that part next. But here's the main part: is companies who sell products, they have to replenish their stock. They've got to replenish it when stock goes out and comes in and goes out and comes in. So they're always replenishing that stock. You know, when they need to buy more stock, they need the money to buy more stock. And so some companies that approach me, they say, I need, I've got this, I need to replenish stock, I need to buy stock, but I haven't got the cash. I haven't got the cash flow. So what they do is they say to me, look, I'll tell you what, we've got this stock in our warehouse. We'll clear that stock, we'll get some money in, and then we've got some money to buy some stock with. So that's what a lot of companies do. They will free up some stock. And these are, genuinely struggling businesses. They need the cash. They've, they can make money, but they just haven't quite got that cash flow that they need each month. It's just kind of reached that point. And I'm not surprised either because of rising costs. And it's not just rising costs in a business as well. It's probably rising living costs in their personal life. If they're paying mortgages and rents, and they might be paying wages, they might be paying out all sorts of monthly expenses, then if they haven't got that cash flow, they're gonna think about clearing some stock that they've got in their warehouse. All right, so that's number two. Number three, companies are desperate to actually free up space in their warehouse, and that could be for a few reasons. Like I mentioned, they might need the space for new stock that's coming in. So they might have stock coming in next week, but their warehouse is full. So they need to look at that stock and make a decision. Let's clear that stock there. All right, let's clear that stock. We're going to make room for this new stock that's coming in. Simple. All right, they'll make that kind of decision. So they're desperate to free up space as well, because they might be in a position where their storage costs are actually too high. They need to try and reduce their storage costs. They're struggling each month. They've got a big storage bill. It's giving them a headache. So they're thinking about, how do we reduce our storage costs in our warehouse? So yeah, let's get rid of some of that stock, and we can now pay a lower storage cost each month because we've reduced the amount of pallets that we are paying storage on each month. And a lot of companies do that as well. Some companies just get too full of stock, too much inventory. You see it all the time. I read about it all the time, even with some of the biggest brands in the world sitting on sitting on excess inventory, sitting on too much stock. A lot of companies are sitting on too much stock. And the reason being is because it's just built up over a period of time. They've imported stock, they've brought stock in, and over a period of a year, all of a sudden, they've realised, bloody hell, we're sitting on a lot of stock here, a lot of inventory. We need to actually reduce that because we're paying like £5,000 a month storage costs or whatever. We don't want to be paying that much storage costs. That's eating into our profits. We need to reduce that storage amount. And then what they do is they'll look at all this stock and they'll think, well, actually, we've been sitting on that stock a long time, going back to being motivated to get rid of stock. They're looking at stock in their warehouse thinking, shit, we've been sitting on that stock too long. We've been sitting on that for too long. We're paying storage costs on that stock. It's even stock that we've got money tied up in, and it's going down in value, shit, we're going to have to make a decision. We need to get rid of that stock. So this is how we find motivated sellers of stock for all these reasons combined, either a single reason or all these reasons combined. All right, it could be a motivated seller because they've been sitting on stock too long. It's stock that's depreciating in value and they just need to get rid of it quick before it starts going down more in value. All right. They're basically, it's costing them money in storage rent each month. Or they just need to free up space for new stock that's coming in. So all these reasons give sellers real motivation to get rid of that stock. And that enables us to access that stock, these one-off deals for cheap. All right. I'm talking way cheaper than China factory prices. All right. Way cheaper than what it would cost you to go buy them in China. Way under China factory prices. Pennies in the pound, guys, that we can access. All right. So I'm talking like, you know, under 10p in the pound for something that might retail for £1. We can access it for way under 10 pence in the pound. All right. Pennies in the pound. So the last reason is what makes all these deals happen. What makes us be able to actually do deals with these motivated sellers. And that is by outreach to a lot of sellers of stock. Because here's the thing, if you're looking for a good deal, if you're looking for some cheap products to resell online, like a lot of people are, you know, you might want to list some stuff on Amazon or eBay to make some profit on. You might have your own website you want to make some money on. You might have your own niche website that you want to, you know, you're just looking for some cheap stuff to sell. You know, of a specific product or product category. You're just looking for different ways. And here's the thing, if you're just reaching out to your local wholesalers, or maybe a few wholesalers in Manchester or Birmingham or London or wherever, if you're reaching out to a handful of companies to look for some cheap stock, that's going to limit you. All right, that's going to limit you at finding these motivated sellers. So the way that we find motivated sellers is by basically reaching out to a lot of motivated sellers. Okay, reaching out to a lot of companies. Instead of reaching out to half a dozen companies or, you know, 10 companies and seeing if they've got any stock they want to get rid of, what we are doing is we're reaching out to hundreds, even thousands of businesses, all right, each day, each week, each month. It's large amounts of outreach. We are reaching out to many different businesses in different industries. All right, they could be manufacturers, they could be importers of products, they could be distributors, they could be wholesalers, they might be exporters of some products, they might be importers. I mentioned importers. They might be like retailers, like the high, you know, bricks and mortar retailers. They might be online retailers. So any kind of business that literally sells products and holds stock in a warehouse. So think about it. How many companies sell products and hold stock in a warehouse? Talking millions. We're talking millions, guys. All right. So here's the thing. If you are looking for specific stock, if you are looking for a specific type of product, then there are ways of targeting companies who sell that specific type of product, but contacting lots and lots of them. All right. And so what I teach in my Surplus Trader Academy is how to reach out to lots of companies, not just a few companies, but large amounts of companies using Google search methods, AI, all right, and LinkedIn. So they are like the three main methods that we would use to find motivated sellers who are sitting on stock that they basically want to get rid of. All right. They are companies that they need the cash. They need to free up cash quick. They need to free up space quick. They are sitting on some stock that's going down in value that they know they need to get rid of quick. All right. They are been sitting on some stock for too long, and their money is tied up in that stock, and they want their money back out of their stock as soon as possible, even if they're losing money on that stock. All right. So here's the magic thing, guys. When we are dealing with motivated sellers, pallets of goods, okay, when we find these motivated sellers that have pallets of unwanted goods in their business that they want to get rid of cheap, they are a motivated seller is someone who is prepared to lose money on that stock. They are losing money on that stock. How mad is that? Think about it. Every deal we do, the businesses that we buy from are losing money. They're not making they're not making money, they're not making profit. And here's the difference, guys. A lot of you guys who go, who go buy products and stock from wholesalers, wherever you buy them from, in Manchester or London or wherever. When you're buying from them, they're making a profit on you. They're making a profit, okay? And then you've got to sell it on and make a profit as well. And guess what? They bought the goods from someone who also made profit. So that stock has gone down the line a few times. That's the mad thing. And everyone has made some profit. But when you're buying a true clearance deal, a true surplus deal, the best deals, the best pallet deals that you can buy are the ones when you're buying them off businesses, they are always losing money. Like they're not bothered. They just write it off as a loss on their books, on their accounts. They are losing money on that stock. They're quite happy to lose money on that stock. Why? Why are they happy? Because they know that if they keep sitting on that stock, they're going to lose even more money. All right. So they're taking a loss now rather than a bigger loss 3, 6, 12 months down the line. You might not have heard the old saying, your first loss is your best loss. That is an old saying from many years ago. It means, Mr. Business Owner, sell that stock to me at a loss now, or sell it in 6 months' time and make an even bigger loss. All right. So it makes sense, doesn't it? Take a loss now. Wash your hands. Wash your hands of it. Okay. Get rid. See the back of it. Gone. Wash your hands of that stock and make a loss. Or in 6 months' time, make a bigger loss because that stock value is going down. So these are the kind of motivated sellers that allow us to find the best deals on pallets of highly discounted goods, guys. All right. Now, if you want to learn how to reach out to lots of companies and what to say to them, all right, what to say to these sellers of these goods and get offered an abundance of one-off, highly discounted deals that you can either resell, retail online, or you can just flip those pallets straight onto other buyers. If you want to learn exactly how to do this and literally grow a network of contacts, when it's finished, I will put a link in YouTube. I'll put a link in the comments for a free. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give 4 or 5 spots to a 30-minute Zoom call with me. You can ask me anything. All right. And I will show you exactly how I can help you as well. Start making more profit by finding more of these highly discounted deals on pallets of stock that you can get your hands on month after month. All right. I'll show you step by step exactly how we do this in our business. There's many undiscovered ways, guys, a lot of under the radar methods that no one even knows about that I teach inside Surplus Trader Academy. Lots and lots of great methods, guys. So if you are looking for cheap pallets of goods, go ahead, click the link in the comments in YouTube. If you're interested and you're on TikTok, go ahead and comment flip or DM me the word flip. If you are in TikTok, you can click into my profile and there's actually a free training showing you how I do these, how I find these deals and how I flip these deals without even touching or seeing that stock or without using any of my own money. How cool is that, guys? I'll drop the link on that training in YouTube as well, guys. So yeah, all the best, guys. That's the end. Just touching 30 minutes. I will be back each Monday. I'm going to try and fit in another live during the week as well. Maybe like the back end of the week, maybe a Monday and a Thursday or Monday and a Friday or something like that. If you like these trainings, please like and subscribe. I'm going to bring you lots more content over the rest of the year, and going to just show you great ways of making money online, but doing it in a way that no one else does it. All right, I'm going to show you how to profit properly. This is no fluff shit, guys. This is the real how to make money stuff. All right, this isn't just how to sell on Amazon and how to make money online. This is how to get your hands on super cheap pallets of goods that you can just flip straight on. All right, or you bring them in. You know, if you are retailing stuff, you're looking for cheap deals to retail and you want to buy these deals and you bring them in and you can sell these products super cheap and you want to be the cheapest online and still make great profit. We teach how to do this, guys. All right, super. All the best. I will see you again very, very soon. Over and out.